The human body is amazing at adapting. If you hurt your foot, you learn to limp so you can keep moving. Believe it or not, your car's engine does the exact same thing, but there comes a point where it just cannot limp anymore, and that is when you get code P02DE. This code stands for Cylinder 10 Fuel Injector Offset Learning at Minimum Limit. That is a mouthful, so let us translate. Your engine control module, the brain of the car, is constantly monitoring how much fuel cylinder number 10 needs. As parts wear out, air filters get dirty, or the weather changes, the computer adjusts or learns a new strategy to keep the engine running smooth. It adds a little more fuel here, takes a little away there. However, this code means the computer has tried to reduce the fuel or adjust the timing for cylinder 10 as much as it possibly can, literally hitting the minimum limit allowed in its programming. And the engine is still not happy. It is screaming, "I cannot adjust any further." The symptoms here are usually a rough idle, maybe a smell of raw fuel, or a whistling noise from under the hood. You might also see smoke from the exhaust. So what causes the computer to panic like this? The most common culprit is actually air, not fuel. If you have a vacuum leak, unmeasured air is getting into the engine. This confuses the computer. It might be trying to cut back fuel to compensate for a weird mixture, hitting that minimum limit. Pop the hood and listen for a hissing or whistling sound while the engine is idling. That is the sound of a vacuum leak. Check your intake tubes and especially the gaskets around the intake manifold. Another sneaky cause is a plugged air filter. If the engine is suffocating, the vacuum pressure skyrockets and the fuel trims go wild. Check that filter. If it looks like it is sucked in on itself, replace it. If the air side checks out, look at the injector for cylinder 10. Is the connector dirty? Is water getting in there? Since these injectors sit in a valley where debris collects, corrosion is common. A bad connection can make the injector behave erratically, forcing the computer to max out its adjustments. If you have a scan tool, watch the data for that injector. If it is acting wild compared to the others, and you've ruled out vacuum leaks and bad wiring, the injector itself might be physically stuck or dripping, and it's time for a replacement. Do not ignore this. Running an engine with bad fuel mixtures can melt catalytic converters and damage pistons. Let's get it fixed so your engine doesn't have to limp anymore.